ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये. I think I missed the second one. नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये. When we saw the shloka, Yasya smarana matrena janma samsara bandhanat vimuchyate. By remembering whom, Yasya smarana matrena, just by remembering whom, one is freed from samsara bandhana. Janma samsara bandhanat vimuchyate. To that Vishnu I prostrate, I do namaskara. Namastasmai Vishnave Prabha Vishnave. One who is glowing, self-effulgent. Prabha Vishnave. We saw that smarana matrena, when we saw this shloka in the last class, in the previous class, we saw that smarana matrena, smaranam meaning remembering, presupposes knowing. Knowing is a process, is a threefold process. I am just recapping what we saw in the previous class. Knowing is a threefold process which is together called Jnana Yoga Sadhana, which comprises of Shravana, Manana and Nididhyasana. Shravana means systematic study for a lengthy period of time, consistently, under one teacher, under one qualified teacher. The student has got qualifications to be fulfilled, to be ready for Shravanam, for the mind to be ready to receive the knowledge revealed by the Shastras, and the teacher also has got qualifications. We will just remember this much till now, and we will see further details on this as we move on. Manana is the process by which one clarifies the doubts that he has learned through Shravanam, the knowledge that he received through Shravanam, clarifications of doubts of the knowledge received, that process is called Mananam. The entire knowing process is threefold. And the third part is Nididhyasanam, where despite receiving the knowledge, there can be Viparita Vasanas, which are habitual notions, and handling habitual notions, that process where one is required to dwell in the knowledge that he has received is called Nididhyasanam. This is a process where the knowledge is well assimilated. Assimilation of knowledge is called Nididhyasanam. In other words, Nididhyasanam is called Nishtha. Now, when we talk of knowledge, which knowledge are we talking of? Knowledge of what? The answer is, it is the knowledge of Ishwara. Because the shloka said, Yasya smarana matrena, and Namastasmai Vishnave. Therefore, remembering whom, I am freed from the troubles of the pains, the sorrows of birth, death, and so on. To that all pervading principle, I prostrate. This is the meaning. Therefore, knowledge of Ishwara, the shloka says, knowledge of Ishwara frees one from the sorrows of life, the pains of life. Now, the question is, which form of Ishwara is going to free me from the samsara bandhana? We saw that in our understanding of Ishwara as Jagat Karanam, the Karanatvam of Ishwara is understood in three stages: C, B, and A. As the creator, then he who became the universe, and he who appears as the universe. In the same order, Ekarupa Ishwara, Aneka or Vishwarupa Ishwara, and Arupa Ishwara. Now, which Ishwara, knowledge of which of these three is going to free me from the bondage of samsara? That is the question. Why Ekarupa Ishwara cannot free me from the bondage of samsara? If I remember Vishnu as Shankh-Chakradhari, Pitambaradhari, in his Chaturbuja Rupa, Shashanka Chakram, Chakirita Kundalam, Sapita Vastram, Sarasi Ruhekshanam. In that form, if I remember him, would I not be freed from the samsara bondage? If that question is there, then the answer is, you know it well, that I have already done it many times. And when I am in sorrow, when I think of God, I only get more emotional about the entire thing, right? My relationship with him and about him, how he is there to protect me as my parent. I only get emotional about it. I am not freed from the pain. Right? Now, why it cannot be Aneka Rupa or Vishwarupa Ishwara? Again, this part of Aneka Rupa, Vishwarupa Ishwara is very well handled by Bhagavad Gita chapter 10 and 11, and also Vishnu Sahasranamam, and also in Shri Rudra Prashna. Vishwarupa or Aneka Rupa Ishwara. Now, when one recalls the knowledge that everything that I experience is only Ishwara, and whatever sorrow comes to me comes from Ishwara, therefore whatever comes from Ishwara has got to be his prasada, therefore I make up my mind to accept what is given to me, what comes to me. If that is the bhavana one has cultivated, then the pain is not totally gone, it is palliative, right? Again I fall into some other pain where I invoke the Lord again. Again I fall into some other pain and I invoke the Lord again. Therefore, this is only a palliative method. It is not curative. If one has to be freed totally from the sorrows of life, that he never gets to fall into the sorrow again, the pain again, the trouble again. Here, when I talk about pain or sorrow, we talk about not the physical pain, it is the mental pain. So you should remember that. Therefore, when one suffers from the pain of limitation, that I am of a weak complexion, I don't have much money, I don't have the capabilities to talk well like that person, to sing well like that person. There are so many ways in which one feels limited, right? So the samsara of limitation, the samsara of incompleteness, incapability, helplessness, alienation, anxiety, hurt, guilt, inacceptance in whatever form, where one suffers from all these things. Now, the question is, what is that form of Ishwara which, if I know and then I dwell upon or I remember, because remembering presupposes knowing, I would be freed from samsara. It is not Ekarupa Ishwara, it is not Anekarupa Ishwara. Therefore, just by the process of elimination, we see that it has to be Arupa Ishwara. Now, what is this? What is this Arupa Ishwara? This is what we saw in the 3 Dhyana Shlokas written by Adi Shankaracharya to his commentary on Vishnu Sahasranamam. He began with Satchidananda Rupaya Krishnaya Krishtakarini. Therefore, Satchit Ananda Rupaha, we saw, is the Arupa Lakshana. Therefore, he is of the nature of consciousness. Ishvara, in his real nature, is of the nature of consciousness. Now, the question can be, how is that by knowing such an Ishvara, I am freed of sorrow? How is that by knowing Ishvara as Satchid Ananda Rupa, I would be freed from the Janma Samsara Bandhana, that I don't get sorrow again? Because Shastra says, your real nature is one with the real nature of Ishvara, and that there are no two different entities. The real nature of your own self is one with the real nature of Ishvara. In essence, you and Ishvara are no two different entities, are one and the same. Now, again, I have a question. If I am one with Ishvara and there are no two different entities, why don't I see it? I should be able to see it. I should have known it. Why I don't know it? Why? The answer is, Shastram says, it is because of avidya, ignorance, the knowledge of your own self, of Satchit Ananda Swarupam. And Shastram says, it is because of ignorance of your real self being one with Ishvara, because of that ignorance, you take yourself to be something that you are not. You take yourself to be this body, you take yourself to be this mind, you take yourself to be this set of sense organs, the ego, the complexes that you bear. Therefore, all along, I have been taking myself to be this body, this mind, to whatever roles I am given to. I assume that the roles I perform are itself me. When I say I am fat, I am tall, I am thin, I am fair, I am dark, what is the I am referring to? I am referring to the body as the I. In Yoga Shastra, this is called Annamaya Kosha. When I am the physical body, and when I am referring to myself and saying, I am hungry, I am thirsty, I am tired, what am I referring to as I? What do I mean by the I? Is it the physical body? No, it is not the physical body, but it is the physiological body, meaning the functions of the body, which is governed by the pranas. And then, when I say I am happy, I am sad, I am angry. In India we say, I am angry on you, right? In the US you say, I am mad at you, right? When you say mad, in India, if you're going to say, if you're going to tell somebody, I am mad at you, meaning, umela na paithiyama iruken, okay, it means that you are in love with that person, right? But in the US, you go and tell somebody, I'm mad at you, it means you're angry at that person, okay? So be careful, no? Make sure which place you're using which term. It can mean something entirely different, though it's the same English. So I am happy, I am sorrowful, I am sad, I am mad, whatever you say, you are referring to which one as the I? You are referring to your mind. You don't refer to your physical body, you don't refer to your physiological body, you refer to your mind. And then when you say, I understand, I know, I don't know, I am doubtful, I am not clear, when you use these kind of expressions, what do you mean by the I in those expressions? You refer to the intellect, right? So the identity of the I keeps on changing in a given day, in a set of transactions. What you refer to your own self keeps on changing. On a close inquiry, one finds that the identity of the word I that we mean keeps on changing. And on the other hand, when I was small, when I was in the kindergarten, I called myself I. When I was 5 years old, 6 years old, I called myself I. And then when I grew up to be a small girl or boy in my primary school time, I called myself I. And then when I grew up to be a smart youth, I called myself I. Is it the same person? And now, when I am fully grown up, a fully grown adult, I could be of the middle age, I could be of old age, the retired age, I still continue to refer myself as I. Now, which is the I am referring to? The I that I am referring to has constantly been changing. Therefore, it is not the same body, it is not the same physiology, it is not the same mind, it is not even the same intellect, because everything has got refined, matured, has grown old, has gone worn out. It is not the same person I am referring to. I have so far not bothered to question this, which is so fundamental. What do I mean by the word I when I refer to my own self? And I have been leading a life all through not knowing who I am really. This is what Shastra is highlighting. And Shastra says, it is because you did not know your true nature, and you have been all through a wanting person, you have taken yourself to be a deficient person, and you have always been attempting to prove yourself, seeking approval of the others, seeking applause from the others for whatever I do. And this world always keeps reminding you that you are small, has always let you down, has put you down to show your place, to say that you are small. There are sayings where, people say the turtle, the dog lives for these many years, the turtle lives for these many years, and then the camel lives for these many years. Finally, they talk about the turtle. A turtle can live up to 300, 400 years, and you cannot live even one full 100 years, right? So it is rare that one gets to complete a 100-year cycle. You are not even as great as the turtle. And then There are people who say that in the perennial flow of time, in the entire perennial flow of time, you are just a flicker. You come and you pass away. And the time has been going on and on and on. Already I feel small, and this makes me feel even more small. And they talk about, I don't know whether you have seen those WhatsApp messages where, they give the entire solar system. They start zooming you out. You, the place where you are, the city where you are, the state where you belong to, the country, the continent, then the earth, then they zoom out to the entire Milky Way galaxy and the entire solar system. They zoom out, and they say that you are not even a spark, a speck of dust in the entire galaxy. I am small again. All these things, my strengths, my wealth, my talent, my intellect, in all respects, this world has been constantly reminding me that you are small, you are small, you are small, you are small. And therefore, to prove myself, to somehow show that I am capable of something much better and I have my own place, I start running a rat race. And the rat race begins right from childhood. These days, I think we were all much more free when we studied our schools and colleges. These days, just looking at the way children are toiling for a rank in the school or for a mark in the college, it's really pitiful. And all my struggles in life have been an expression of the urge to be complete, to become something. All my struggles in life. And I have been struggling to accomplish a list of wants that I have. You might have written a list of wants, and maybe you have it for yourself. It is rare that one has a habit of writing diaries, or it can be an invisible list here. It can be a list running to almost a book, say about 8,732 wants I have. And I start ticking off one by one. And the moment I recognize that I have ticked about 5 of them, yay, wonderful. And I realize that I have added 4 more pages of wants, 4 more pages of wants. And there is a saying that we often quote. We say, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. So all these to make myself feel incomplete. And I seek completion by ticking them all off. The day I tick off all of them, I feel accomplished. I think I get accomplished by doing it this way. And where one is intelligent, from one's own experience, with the punya that he gains, he or she understands that he or she cannot solve the problem of this self-adequacy with the pursuits of the material life. In the terms of Shastra, it is called dharma, artha, kama, purusharthas. This is where I am stuck. I have this notion of self-adequacy. I don't even know it is a notion in the initial stage. And I keep chasing, running for something, seeking something to become something. And then I find that no matter what I do, what I achieve, it is, temporarily I feel fulfilled, temporarily I feel nice about it, but the next moment it is all gone. The fulfillment is gone, the happiness is gone, everything is lost. And I'm again put to the first place, back to square one, where I think I am not up to the mark. And I again run chasing something. So this problem an intelligent person discerns, and this is where he realizes his helplessness. And when he is helpless, looking around what to do, that is where Vedanta Shastra, our Shastras, have a very big board, and they have been waiting just like how we have the "May I help you" counter in the airports. Right? Generally, nobody goes there. So, just like that, nobody comes here as well. Right? So, very few people come here like you. And Shastram is here to help me with, because this is one problem that no science can help me with. No matter how great I am a scientist, or how great a mathematician I am, how great a historian I am, how great a linguist I am, all these material knowledges that I have gained, I have studied all through my life, are of no use when I am in helplessness, when I am in sorrow, when I am in pain. Now, Shastra is there to help you, and Shastra is the one to give you that knowledge which all these sciences cannot give. These sciences cannot reach out to that area the knowledge of which will relieve you from the pain of this Janma, from the fundamental problem of human being. It says, there is a saying that says, Pratyakshena mityava yastu payona vidyate enam vidanti vedena tasmat vedasya vedata. Meaning, this is the definition for what Veda is. It says, where all other science fails to give you the knowledge, this is one instrument, this is one means which gives you the knowledge where no other instrument can reach out to. And because it gives you the greatest of knowledge, it is called Veda. Veda means knowledge, to know. So Shastram says, this person who recognizes that he has to come to Shastram is a mature person. And Mundaka Upanishad of the Atharvana Vedam says, Parikshya lokan karmachitan brahmano nirvedamayat nastya krita kritena tad vijnanartam sa gurum eva bigachet samitpanihi shrotriyam brahmanishtam. What this mantra says is, one who examines his life, Parikshya lokan, examines all the experiences that one is given to, and sees that through karma, just by doing something or from abstaining from doing something, the problem of inadequacy is not solved. And hence, such a person who sees this clearly, that no matter what material sciences I have known, I have studied, they don't help me in this basic problem of solving my basic self-inadequacy. The unfulfillment, the tendency of feeling incomplete, that is not being solved. And therefore, he goes to a qualified guru, and one who is intelligent enough to do this is a qualified Shishya. This is what this mantra says. As a person in my life, I perform three roles. I act as a karta, as a doer, as a bhokta, as an enjoyer, and as a jnata, as a knower. And as a jnata, it is only for the first 25 years that I am a knower, starting from my school education. And thereafter it is only karta bhokta. I do actions and I experience the result of action. For the rest of the life, it is predominantly karta and bhokta, and we fail to be jnata. Therefore, there is no learning from the experiences, and what happens is, a man only reacts to situations. What kind of life would that be? What is the quality of life am I leading where I don't learn from experiences, but I only react to experiences? I keep thinking of something better, a better experience would complete me, and they don't. So I seek for something better. The problem is not solved. Again, I seek for something better, something better, something better, and I keep going behind something, and nothing solves my problem. So, doing something doesn't solve my problem. So, what do? I renounce everything? No. If human problem cannot be solved by doing something, how can it be solved by renouncing actions? Right? Human problem cannot be solved by worldly things, accomplishing worldly things or worldly experiences. They cannot be solved by renouncing them either. Because the problem is not outside, the problem is inside, and the problem is fundamental to all human beings. It is the problem of ignorance. Where the problem is ignorance, where the problem is darkness, the solution can be light, only light. In the same way, where the problem is ignorance, self ignorance, the solution can only be self knowledge. And this is what Purusha Suktam says, Nanyah Panta Ayanaya Vidyate. There is no second way to this solution. The only way you have to solve your fundamental human problem is knowledge, self-knowledge. And an intelligent mind sees this, discerns this. Remember that the purpose of human life is learning and growing. And such a person who sees this is called Brahmanaha. No other person is a Brahmana. Parikshya lokan karmachitan Brahmanaha. One who sees this and who seeks to be freed from his fundamental problem through Shastras, through the learning of Shastras, is a Brahmanaha. And this is where Vishnu Sahasranama begins, because it begins with the question of Yudhisthira, whose question is on the fundamental problem of human, and the answer given by Acharya in response to the question of Yudhisthira is the entire Vishnu Sahasranama. Thank God. Maybe you felt that why am I giving a lecture? Maybe I forgot today's Vishnu Sahasranama class and I've been talking of something. So this is where I wanted to get to. And Vishnu Sahasranama, as we all know, appears in the Anushasana Purva of Mahabharata. And Mahabharata is a stream of dialogues. Mahabharata starts as a dialogue between, the text begins as a dialogue between a teacher and a set of students. The name of the teacher is Ugrashravas, who is the son of Romaharshanaha. Ugrashravas is a Pauranika, meaning one who renders pravachanams and who teaches people, who goes places and who teaches people. And he is also called as Sutaputra or Suta Pauranika. And to whom did he teach? To whom did he render the entire Mahabharata? He rendered the entire Mahabharata to a group of rishis headed by Rishi Shaunakaha. On their request to hear the story of Mahabharata, he starts narrating, because he says that he heard this story narrated by another rishi to a king. So this section, called as Suta Shaunaka Samvadaha, which happens in the city of Naimisharanyam, where Suta Pauranika happens to meet the rishis headed by Shaunaka, and on them requesting him to teach the story. He gives the story as pravachanam, and he says, this story I heard Rishi Vaishampayana narrating to the king Janamejaya when King Janamejaya of Hastinapura was doing the Sarpayaga. And I was there as one of the members attending the yaga, and I heard this, therefore I thought I will share this. So, this story which was, and who was Janamejaya? Janamejaya was the son of Maharaja Parikshit, and Parikshit was the son of Abhimanyu. Abhimanyu was the son of Arjuna. So Arjuna, Abhimanyu, Parikshit, Janamejaya. And to Janamejaya, Rishi Vaishampayana, who visited him, narrated this story on the request of Janamejaya, and Suta Pauranika, who heard this, narrates it to the rishis. So everywhere you see in the entire Mahabharata, it is so and so uvacha, so and so uvacha. All our Puranas are in direct speech. There is no indirect speech. Therefore, they say who says this, and the dialogue is in direct speech. And similarly, we have the direct speech beginning from Shri Vaishampayana Uvacha. So, we will read Shloka number 7, Vaishampayana's dialogue. Shri Vaishampayana Uvacha. Shruti is too high, is it? Shrutva dharmana sheshena pavanani cha sarvashaha Yudhisthira shantanavam punarevabhyabhashatha. Shri Vaishampayana Uvacha. Shri Vaishampayanaha, Maharishi Vaishampayanaha, Janamejaya Pratyuvacha, meaning in response to what was asked by Janamejaya, Vaishampayana spoke. What did he speak to Janamejaya? He says, Janamejaya, Dharman asheshena shrutva. Dharman asheshena shrutva. Shrutva meaning having listened to all the dharmas without exception. Asheshena, without anything left over. Completely, totally. Dharman asheshena shrutva. Yudhisthira had heard of all the dharmas and karmas which are instrumental in attaining the results of this world, the higher worlds, which are called the material results, and which are useful for the spiritual journey as well. So our Shastras classifies the Purusharthas. Purushartha meaning that which is sought after by a human being. Purushaihi artyate iti Purushartha, meaning that which a human being seeks, that which is sought after. So whatever one seeks, the list can be many. Veda classifies them into 4 groups: Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. Dharma is that which one does for the sake of punyam. Artha is all those things that one seeks for security. Kama is all those things a human being seeks for enjoyment. Artha is for security, Kama is for enjoyment, and Dharma are the religious karmas that yield punyam. Now, Yudhisthira had heard all of them without exception, and also of those that give, those that are useful for the spiritual journey, for the moksha purushartha. And he heard them without exception. Asheshena. Asheshena meaning all the do's and don'ts in the Shastras. Shastra gives a list of do's and don'ts when it comes to karma, when it comes to performing actions. They are called Vidhi Vakya and Nisheda Vakya. Vidhi Vakya is the set of do's, and Nisheda means don'ts. So he had heard all the do's and don'ts for the attainment of all the Purusharthas, both the material Purusharthas and the spiritual Purushartha. Dharma, Artha, Kama are the material Purusharthas, and Moksha, which is the spiritual Purushartha. He had heard them, and he had also heard Pavananicha Sarvashaha Shrutva. He also heard the Prayaschitta karmas that purify human beings in all ways. Prayaschitta is a karma that go to neutralize the papa karmas that one does. Now, papa karmas, like, they are akin to the diseases that one may get. When papa karma fructifies, it is akin to the diseases that one may get, in the sense that they can be classified into three types. When the diseases that a human being gets can be classified into three types. One type is that you take a medicine, it is gone. That is the first type. It is cured with the medicine. The second type is, it cannot be cured with the medicine, but the effect of the disease on your body can be managed or handled, that it does not cause too much of pain or trouble to you. The first example, in the first case where it is curative, the example can be, say you have a fever and you take a paracetamol and it is cured. The second case where it is palliative, like for example diabetes or blood pressure, which cannot be cured, but lifelong you have to take tablets so that you maintain within the limits, within the parameters, and it doesn't cause further problem. This is the second type. The third type of disease is that the doctor says nothing can be done, you have to endure this pain all your life. There is no point. Medicines will not work, painkillers will not work. You have to endure them, either for a particular period or for all your life. Say, for example, stone in the kidney. Nothing can be done. No amount of painkillers will work. You have to endure it till the stone is flushed out of the body by the body itself. So this is the third type of disease. Now, Papa karma is akin to this in this way. Papas are of three categories. One is that you do a prayaschitta, Papa is washed off. That is the first type. A second type of Papa is, by doing prayaschitta, the strength or the intensity of the effect of Papa can be handled, can be managed. That is the second type. And there is a third type of Papa, where no amount of prayaschitta can help you manage the effect that it will give you. The only way is to endure and experience the result of the Papa karma. This is the third type. So here he talks about Pavananicha Sarvashaha Shrutva, all that go to purify the karmas, meaning the prayaschitta karmas, to that extent they can purify. He heard all of them. And they are all dharmas, all that Yudhisthira heard. From whom? From Bhishmacharya. All that Yudhisthira heard so far are spoken in the Vedas. Because they are spoken in the Vedas, they are called Vaidika Dharmaha. And having heard them, Yudhisthira felt they are inadequate. Still, there are inadequacies, and he wants to know more. And Yudhisthira was so intelligent that he wanted to know of one sadhana. This question of Yudhisthira is very, very intelligent. He wanted to know of one sadhana that would be Sakala Purushartha Sadhana. That one sadhana which will give me all the Purusharthas, all that I seek. It is capable of achieving all that is sought after by me. One thing if I do and I achieve everything, this is a wonderful way. I don't have to do too many things to achieve one after the other. I just do one thing and I achieve everything. I get everything. And Shankara in his Bhashyam here, he writes that Yudhisthira wanted to know that one sadhana performing which he achieves all the Purusharthas, and he wanted it to be of three types or of having three attributes in it. It should satisfy all these three conditions. That one sadhana should satisfy all these three conditions. This is what Shankara is adding in his commentary. He says, Yudhisthira wants it to be Sukha Sampadhyam. He wants that sadhana to be easy to follow and enjoyable. Otherwise, how will I be able to follow to achieve everything that I want? Right? So it has to be easy to follow. Not only it is easy to follow, I should be able to enjoy it. Only then I will follow it. Going for a walk can be easy. It doesn't mean that I do it. Right? So it should be easy to follow, and it should also be enjoyable to do. And the next condition, he says, Alpa Prayasam. Alpa Prayasam means with very little effort, but it should give the third condition, Bhuma Palam, capable of giving me the infinite. Wow. Alpa Prayasam, very little effort, and I get the infinite, and it should be easy to follow and enjoyable. This was the intention of Yudhisthira, Shankaracharya adds. And what can be the Bhuma Palam? What can be the infinite, not finite, not Alpa Palam, not something that I get now and it goes away after some time. It is not that kind of a palam that fades away after some time. No, it is not that kind of a palam that I want. Yudhisthira wants a palam that is finite. That is infinite. And that can only be moksha, because dharma is not infinite. Artha, definitely I know, is not infinite. Kama, I know for sure, is not infinite. It is finite. Therefore, it can only be moksha. Yudhisthiraha, in the shloka it says, Yudhisthiraha Shantanavam Punareva Abhyabhashata. Yudhisthira, whom did he ask? Shantanavam. Shantanavam means Shantanu Apatya, one who is born of Shantanu, son of Shantanu Maharaj. Shantanu Putram Bhishmam Ityartaha. It means Bhishma. Shantanavam means Bhishma. So Yudhisthira asked Bhishma, Punareva Abhyabhashata, meaning he asked him again. Bhuya eva Abhyabhashata Prashnam Kritavan. He raised a question again to Bhishma to explain this. So one sadhana through which all the Purusharthas are said to be achieved, or achieving which all the other Purusharthas are as good as achieved. Because attaining the infinite means or is as good as attaining all the finite results, because all finite are included in the infinite. So when I achieve the infinite, it is as good as achieving all the finite results. So this was Vaishampayana Uvacha. We move on to Yudhisthira Uvacha. Yudhisthira Uvacha. Kimekam daivatam loke. Kim va ekam parayanam. Stuvantak kam kamarchantaha. Prapnuyurmanava shubham. Ko dharma sarva dharmanam. Bhavatah paramo mataha. Kinjapan muchyate jantuhu. Janma samsara bandhanat. These two shlokas are the questions raised by Yudhisthira. Yudhisthira asks 6 questions in these 2 shlokas. Though the tradition makes out 6 separate questions from these 2 shlokas, all these questions are in fact interconnected. We will see the 6 questions. The first question, Pratama Prashnaha. Loke kim ekam daivatam. This is the first question. Loke kim ekam daivatam. Kim ekam daivatam means who is or what is that one Lord? What is that one Devata? Because it is only one Lord that is spoken of in all the Shastras. And the entire universe that is managed or functioned by all the physical, chemical, biologic, all the laws, the gravitational laws, all the laws, you have a deity, a devata for each of the laws that govern this universe. Each of the law that governs this universe is represented by a devata, and there is a god for all these gods. Devonke Dev. Yudhisthira is asking about that god of all the gods, which is revealed by the Shastras. Yudhisthira is asking who is that one Devaha by whose order all of these function. And here it is important to note the meaning of the word loke. Normally the meaning of the word lokaha, loka refers to the place, right? Here the meaning of the word lokaha is derived as lokyate anena, meaning that by which one gains knowledge. It refers therefore to the source of knowledge, Vidyasthanani. And what is Vidyasthanam? Vidyasthanam is the Shastram. Shastram is the source. And what do you mean by the word Shastram? When you say Shastram, what is that you refer to? Our forefathers have made a shloka so that we don't forget the contents of what we refer to by the word Shastram. It is said, Angani Vedas Chatvaro Mimamsa Nyayavistaraha Puranam Dharma Shastrancha Vidya Hetas Chaturdasha. Shastram is a 14-fold literature. Angani Vedas Chatvaraha, 4 Vedas and 6 angas of the Vedas. The 6 angas are Shiksha, Vyakarana, Nirukta, Chandas, Jyotisha and Kalpa. The 4 Vedas are Rig, Yajur, Sama and Atharva, and the 6 angas are Shiksha Shastram. Shiksha Shastram is the science of phonetics, pronunciation. The second anga is Vyakarana Shastram. Vyakaranam is grammar, Vedic grammar. Then the third anga is Niruktam. Niruktam means etymology, science of origin of words. And the fourth anga, Chandas. Chandas is the meter. In Vishnu Sahasranama is in a poetic form, right? It is a verse which is in the meter. We say Anushtup Chandaha. We tell this as part of the Dhyanam. Anushtup Chandaha, right? Chandas is a meter. So this is again a science. And the fifth anga is Jyotisha Shastra. Jyotisha is time calculations, the science of time calculations. And the sixth anga is Kalpa Shastra, which is the procedure for performing various rituals. So all these six Shiksha, Vyakarana, Nirukta, Chandas, Jyotisha and Kalpa, these 6 are called Veda Angas. So 4 Vedas, the 6 Angas together with Mimamsa, the rules for interpretation of the Shastric words. And then Nyaya Shastra, logical or reasoning. And then you have Purana and the Dharma Shastra. So therefore, this is a 14-fold education called Chaturdasha Vidya, which is a basic education that was given to everybody in our country until the British came. The 14 are 4 Vedas, 6 Angas, making 10, and the other 4 are Mimamsa Shastra, Nyaya Shastra, Purana and Dharma Shastra. And Lokaha in this shloka refers to Samasta Vidya Sthanani, all of the above together. And in all the Shastras, Yudhisthira is referring to that one Lord by whose order everything functions. This is the first question. Loke kim ekam daivatam. Now the second question. Dvitiya prashnaha. Loke kim ekam parayanam. Again the same meaning for lokaha. In the Shastras, loke, in the Shastras, kim ekam, which one is parayanam, meaning param ayanam, the ultimate end. What is the ultimate end mentioned in the Shastras? Tasmin loke ekam parayanam kim. Which is the ultimate end? Which is the ultimate goal that is mentioned by the Shastras? We all as human beings, we have many goals. Here Yudhisthira intelligently is again asking ekam ayanam. He says ekam. Ekam means which is that one end accomplishing which, or which is to be accomplished by all because it is param, which is the ultimate, and gaining which, because it is param, because it is the ultimate end, gaining which end there is no other end to be accomplished. All, or in other words, all the ends are as good as accomplished. So when we take the broad 4 category goals called Purusharthas, Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha, the human goals, all any goal you have in life, you can fit into one of these 4 categories. Now that is the intelligence of our Shastra. It has given you in a capsule form. Whatever you seek will fit into one of these four. And of these four, human being does not need to be taught or inducted about Artha Kama Purushartha, because that one naturally has to feel secure and the want to enjoy Artha and Kama. Therefore, Veda does not talk of Artha Kama. It talks of Dharma and Moksha. Dharma is the lifestyle that one needs to live. A human being should follow to lead a meaningful life, to reap the benefits of human life. And Veda is a set of instructions. The initial part of Veda is in the form of instructions, which is akin to a user manual. When you buy a product, and this is a voice recorder. When you buy a product, it can be as small as an eye drops that you buy for your eyes, or it can be as big as the car that you buy, or any mixie or grinder or the voice recorder or mobile phone, whatever you buy. You have an instruction manual that comes along with the product. Now, why do you need an instruction manual? Because if I don't follow the instruction manual, what will happen is I will not be having the knowledge of all the uses or the benefits of the product. Point number one. And point number two is I may do something which should not be done, or handle the product in a way it should not be handled, and therefore I lose the product. Right? The product perishes because of the way I mishandled it because of lack of knowledge. Now, we have a very big product which has been gifted to us by Ishwara. It is called as human life. Now, what is the user manual for this? Shouldn't it have a user manual? Shouldn't I know what all I should do to reap the best or all the benefits that this product can give me? Or shouldn't I be warned of that I shouldn't do so that I don't lose, I don't abuse this product? And that user manual that comes along with the product, and normally who gives the user manual? Is it the consumer that decides the user manual, or the manufacturer who decides the user manual? It is the manufacturer. So who is the manufacturer of this human life? It is Veda. It is Ishwara. Therefore, Ishwara has given this human life along with the user manual called Vedas. Now tell me, if I have a question and I ask whether or not I have a choice to follow the Vedas, now is it an intelligent question or a stupid question? Right? So, to such people who don't follow the Vedas, who don't follow the dharmic lifestyle, Vedas call them as Mudaha. Mandaha, meaning fools. And in some parts, Veda also calls them as Balaha, meaning childish people, immature people. Because the pursuit of moksha is the greatest pursuit, and one doesn't choose to take up moksha as his goal. And we will conclude this class with the famous quote of Adi Shankaracharya in one of his greatest texts called Viveka Chudamanihi. He says, Durlabam trayame vaitat devanugraha hetukam manushyatvam mumukshutvam mahapurusha samshrayaha. Adi Shankaracharya says, there are three things which are the rarest of all. And the first is Manushyatvam, not Manushya Janma. We call Manushya Janma as one of the rarest, right? He says the rarest is not even Manushya Janma. Having taken human birth, being human is rare. Manushyatvam is rare. And what is more rare is being human and having the need or seeking moksha as my ultimate goal, mumukshutvam, is rarer. And what is rarest is being human and having moksha as the ultimate pursuit, and also getting an acharya, a sampradaya acharya, mahapurusha samshrayaha as your teacher is the rarest of all. He says this in Viveka Chudamanihi, and we have seen two questions of Yudhisthira. The first shloka has 4 questions, and the second shloka has 2 questions in Yudhisthira Uvacha. So we will see the other questions in the upcoming class. And the answer for all of these questions, Bhishmacharya is going to give one answer. That answer is Shriman Narayana. That is the answer for all the questions. So we will see that in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. I'm sorry I overshot by a few minutes. So we will meet next week same time. Hari Om.